by challenging their views. And one of the things that I heard that was like profound, and I've said it in this room before I even saw it on there, was I stated that college doesn't really educate or teach a child to critically think for themselves. They just indoctrinate, right? And what he stated was the exact same thing, but in his own way. And he pointed it out, and there was a college goer who comes off of the mic, and he says to Charlie Kirk, "I'm really offended by your statements on how you feel about college, people who go to college, and I don't really appreciate that. You're making it sound as if we're just wasting our time. We're not really learning anything. And I want to tell you that there's a lot. I went to school, you didn't, and I'm more intelligent than you are." And then Charlie Kirk goes, "Oh, so what are you taking?" The kid says, "Oh, I'm taking XXX, right?" Charlie goes, responds and says, "Oh, so have you read this author?" And he says, "I'm not familiar with that." "Oh, really? That was a part of the curriculum about maybe 8 years ago. So you didn't read about that? So what about this author and that author and that author and that author? You never read any of these books? So what? So wait a minute. The word that you're telling me that I'm failing at, and it was profound because that's what's going on. These people, you're going to school to get the paperwork, but you're dumb as fuck. You don't realize it. Only thing you're doing is you're patting yourselves on the back for getting this piece of paper. But you can't critically think your way out of a bag. And they're teaching you all of this DEI bullshit. And when he proved that point right there in front of everybody, I was like, wow, that's amazing. And everything kind of fell in. It just all came together right there. Never mind all of the, it's your races. All white people are racist, ladies and gentlemen. They have to be. In order to claim that you are white, you're distinguishing yourself from everything else. That means you care about yourself, your identity, your culture over everything else. That's what it means. It does not mean that you hate everyone else. It just says that you prefer your own. There is nothing wrong with that. That doesn't matter. What does matter is, are you actually being educated? Are these your own ideas? Are you formulating and processing information properly? Or are you just regurgitating and parakeeting the stupid shit that you've heard from other dumb motherfuckers who want to use you like a tool? That's all.
I disagree with you on that, because before I came to Clubhouse, no one gives two shits about their goddamn race, Lion. And not people are racist. And though people get told they're white, they don't really think about it that hard. They don't care. They're working to survive and live, and that's it. And feed their family and go about their day.
Right. But even in that statement right there, that's what I mean. Like it's subtle. You don't realize it that you're actually playing for a particular team. All of us do. I made that argument long ago in this room when people were like, "Well, Lion, are you a racist?" And I think you're a racist, Lion, and I would say, "Yeah, I am."
I think you're hardcore, and people aren't hardcore. You know?
I'm living in a realistic world where it's the reality. If I care about my children, and I care about their cousins, and I care about all the other people that look and act and behave and are trying to preserve our culture, our East Side ways, that means I prefer my own over yours. I want my children to get the best education over your children. I want my children to... Yeah. So what does that mean?
I respect that for you, right? But in my household, in my family, I wasn't raised like that. We don't think like that. You know what I mean? That's why I say you're more hardcore, because it's not about people who look like us,
Ms.
right?
Lopez. So let's just say, hypothetically speaking, your son is sick and mine is sick. The doctor says, hey, listen, I can only save one. We only have enough XYZ medicine, quadruple blah, 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 and that's it. Who are you going to save?
You're talking about someone's child, though. That's different than...
It's not. It's all the same.
I don't know.
Who are you going to save?
If you're going to say, okay, two people's children that aren't yours, one's this and one's this, that's probably a better question because you separate it from your own. Everyone's going to choose their own child.
That's exactly the point. And guess what? I'm going to choose my own grandmother. I'm going to choose my mother. I'm going to choose my dad. And I'm also going to choose my dad's friends. I'm going to choose my cousins. I'm going to choose my cousin's neighbors. I'm going to choose my cousin's girlfriend. And even each of my baby mama. I'm going to choose all of these people. I'm going to choose every single one of them. I prefer them over everybody else. And everyone prefers their own people over mine.
I disagree because I choose a child over an adult no matter the color.
The Chinese choose the Chinese over everybody. Arabs choose Arabs over everybody. You get it what I'm saying now?
I just think
the reason for the choice is preservation of your culture and familiarity. It's not a bad thing. It's just we've been taught that these are bad ideas, but you already naturally do it anyway. You do it every day and don't even realize it. I'm not sitting around thinking about white people. I'm thinking about how to better my children and better my family, just like you are. But in the midst of that, guess what? If there's a threat to my child's education because somebody else decides to move into the neighborhood and they want to start absorbing all of the resources over my children, I'm going to have a problem with them. Should I? Should I have a problem with them? I thought we were all human, though. You see?
I understand what you're saying.
If we don't believe in those things, then there's really no reason why we have borders, fences, or property rights. Don't have anything because it doesn't really matter. We should all just sit down and say, hey, listen, no matter what happens, we win. So if the Mexicans come and invade the entire America, it doesn't really matter because they're all human. We're all the same, right? If the Chinese come and do the same thing, it doesn't really matter because we're all the same. We, the humans, we won. I want my children to have the best education. And so that's the reason for the competition. That's why we compete. That's the point of capitalism. You want your children to have the best, and I want my children to have the best. If your children got the best of everything, what does that do for me and mine? What if your son grew up to be the greatest, the greatest whatever, and he's just loaded with money? What does that do for my family, who don't even know you? Not a damn thing.
Is this the plot to one of the 70s movies?
Or I can be like, oh, we're a part of the human race, so we all win. Even though Mrs. Lopez's son is off doing great things, and he built a rocket that can land itself, and he's off to Mars. What does that do for me?
A damn thing.
Exactly. Gonzalez Lopez is when you come to Georgia and the Mexicans that are already here, you can go to Jimmy Carter and go down this strip, and everything is Spanish. All of the buildings are Spanish. All of the titles and the names, the companies, they got their own taxi cab company. They got all of this stuff. You know why? Because they prefer their own. Does that mean that they're evil racists who hate everybody else? Or is it just practical that they will make their own lives convenient for themselves and their children?
That convenience, though?
For them, yeah. It may be inconvenient for others because if I don't speak Spanish and I want, and that's the closest place to eat or get a tire changed or there's an emergency and I'm going, help, hey, listen, I got a problem. And he's like, oh, hey, no comprende. Espanol? I'm like, no, I don't speak that. I got this problem, blah, 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 blah. It's convenient for them, but it ain't convenient for me. It works out for them. That's what it's been like, literally being a black person living in America all of this time.
People should learn how to speak English. I mean, my family did. Very fast.
So when the black people are now adopting the same behaviors as the other people that come to the country, they're the ones being called racist. But everybody's practicing this. Everyone. Every single group is doing the exact same thing. The Armenians, they're doing that in California. They got their own area. There's nothing wrong with that. The Arabs, they're doing it. The Ethiopians in the north, in Detroit, they're doing it.
Armenians have been in that area for several years. Since my father was young.
That's the point, though. They put their flag there and they say, hey, look, this here is going to be our spot. This is our lunch table. We're going to speak our language. We're going to keep and maintain our culture. We're going to practice our beliefs. And we're going to marry and have children. We're going to have our children. That's how we're going to do it. But guess what? Guess who's not supposed to do that? The black people and the white people that are here. If white people practice the exact same thing, they're called racist. If black people practice the exact same thing, they're called racist. And they're trying to force us to be together with each other. But everyone else can maintain their culture.
You see that?
To be fair, Armenians are called racist all the time for the way we live.
Really?
Yeah, we're called xenophobic, right? But here's the other side, guys. Like, when the Soviet Union fell, right, there was a huge influx of Armenians that came to LA, and most of us really didn't want to come here, but it was the best option at the time for our parents. And so they obviously didn't plan it. It was very sporadic, unplanned. So you're going to want to live by people who speak the same language as you. But as decades go on, like, we marry other cultures, we move out to other places, but there's still the majority of the people are doing exactly what he just said. Like, yeah, we're going to stay Armenian. I expect you to have Armenian kids. I expect you to go to Armenian private school. Like, 80% to 90 are like that. But as the generations go, whether they want to or not, they pretty much fade, and you can't hold on to it for too long. It's very hard.
That's all I'm trying to say. So at the heart of Armenian Central, the culture is being maintained. Now, of course, as generations go on, the generations that come out, they're going to, of course, mingle with the other people, start talking and stuff. But the heart still maintains its identity. My argument, though, my point is, they're not allowing that for the black people. institution trying to force us to forget who we are. But everybody else is allowed to maintain their identities. And I think that's wrong. I think it's sick. Everyone else is allowed to maintain their history. But the black people, their history is constantly being erased. That's what my wife was talking about earlier.
To the Native Indians, oh my God. Let me start.
Them too. But at least with the Native Indians, they were allowed to get a section of land or a section of places, and they're allowed to, even though it's an impoverished state, they're still allowed to keep their culture. You got to understand what's happening here. You're forcefully trying to eradicate people from their ancestors, and you're trying to make them basically a blank slate, somebody that you can mold to whatever it is that you want them to be, a slave. They don't know where they're going, and they don't know where they've been. They are orphans.
That's why the school system is the way it is. That's why they don't want the kids to critically think. That's why they want us to follow the leader. All of that shit. If you look at everything and how it is, from pharmaceuticals, the medical industry, everything, the school system, everything, it all fits like a puzzle in how they want us to be. And it's all about control.
Charlie Kirk is a racist. It's leading the government talking point, where they're trying to forcefully eradicate people who prefer their own cultures. And it's just, to me, that's just sick. It's wrong. Now, if the white guy was like, hey, look, like we were talking about earlier, we need to strip the black people of all of their rights that they fought for. We need to put them back in shackles and put them back on a fucking plantation somewhere. That's a different thing. But if he's saying, hey, listen, the white community is literally dying off. Our white women have been told that it is a bad thing to have white children. They should prefer men of other races. That right there is a soft genocide. It's an eradication of culture. If you're saying that the white people should not exist at all, just because of their historical context, no other justification other than that. And the best way that they can, I guess, be a more productive member of society is genetic erasure. That's genocide. If you're telling black people to do the exact same thing or abort their children by setting up abortion clinics in the black communities, that's genocide. It's a more humane way of depopulating a group of people, while at the same time you're opening up the gates and letting all of the newcomers come in to replace them. You don't see that? You don't see how that's playing out?
I see that because there was a court case in 1980 in LA. I've known that for a long time. That to the Mexican and the black women, they were sterilizing them without their permission. There was a court case. And so that wasn't that long ago. Right?
Right. So let me ask you something. Let's talk about. I like to say let's take a look at all of the strong nations. I mean, really powerful nations that cannot be moved. Are they those powerful nations? Are they represented by men or women? Men. So why is it that the black community in America, ours are represented by homosexuals and women? When did these people become the spokespersons for the entire black community? Who put them in charge?
The Democrat.
Do you think black men would have fought for abortions? Black heterosexual men.
I don't think.
Right, and this is key because this is where we start sliding down that slippery slope of dictatorship. When you start saying they're allowed to protest in ways that I allow, not in ways that the law allows, right? Because if they're complying with the laws of said city that they're demonstrating or protesting in, there should be no reason to have interference or rubber bullets shot because you don't like the way they're protesting.
Well, they
That's
did
the
that
difference
with the
between
news
the dictator.
They told them they can't report the White House or anything unless they sign a contract saying that they will only say what he will allow them to say in the news. Something like that.
Doing yoga.
Can you repeat that again, maybe?
They're saying that. Somebody explain it.
No, Fox News and others said they will not go along with what the Trump administration through the Pentagon media has essentially censored or wants to tell people what to say. And Fox, CNN, and others have said they're just not going to roll with that. And their credential passes could be disbarred. And the only news media is right wing. I think One America or something like that, which I don't know what the hell One America is, but I know it ain't bigger than NBC and some of what you call legacy news. And Legacy News has the money to sue, and I hope they all come together and sue, because that's probably what it's going to have to take is class action lawsuits. People can't do stuff by themselves. You're going to have to start suing in massive groups and whatever else you need to do, because that's the media's right to, that's why they give them press passes and stuff there. I've never, heard of this kind of stuff where only one news station can be back there. This is America, and that's why people are speaking out about it, because it's just not right. And quite frankly, it's probably and absolutely not legal. That's a problem. That's really bad, to try to control the media and what people say and how they say.
Yeah, I'm at work, but thank you, Ashley.
Look, one second, real quick, 1 second. Pepe, you're more than welcome to be on the stage. More than welcome to give your contribution or anything else, because we do have people who are just sitting here, and that's real disrespectful to their.
That's not Hitler, though.
Well, I don't care. It's close enough.
This article I posted. Hold on one second. Sorry. I'm sorry. I was just reading the article about the missiles thing with Trump. It's saying that Governor Newsom is still trying to decide if they're going to do it, but he says the reason why he hasn't decided is because
they haven't really gotten much information about the planning of the event. So it's not set in stone yet that he's actually going to go forth with it. But there's, I guess, a plan mapped out to do it, but it's not concrete yet as of today. I'll put it in the chat for y'all to read it, so y'all can read the details, but yeah.
I believe people have the First Amendment right, but with everything that's going on, man, just with everything, I would say this is a crazy time. We all watched Charlottesville happen in real time, and so it's just, I don't know. Just pray and just be careful.
Wait, what do you mean this is a crazy time? Anything out of Memphis in terms of what's going on?
I'm gonna get right back to you. Put your hand down, Pepe. I don't care if it's not Hitler. I don't care if it's Franco. I don't care who it is. You're doing the Nazi salute. Come back with a PTR. They're not making a racist gesture, and you'll be welcome to the stage. That's it. Go ahead, Anthony.
Yeah, so Harvey, have you heard anything about Memphis and the effects of the National Guard being out there?
No, we haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything. Nothing solid. I think they went with last Friday. It might have been. So it might be too soon.
Got somebody in the chat room. The press corps leaving the Pentagon.
Yeah. So because I saw some podcasters and stuff. They were basically really upset because they were not able to get press passes and signing contract. They say they withdrew before.
Exactly, and you know what? I'm glad you brought up, because this is exactly why we can't get rid of history of schools, because unlike certain supporters on the stage, they think that this is okay. They think that it's okay for an administration to dictate what our media is putting out there. And they don't see the dangers of this. They don't see the danger of this. They don't see that this is hinting on what's more to come. That's the crazy part. They'll find a way to justify this. There ain't no justification for this. How the hell are you going to tell the media what they're going to talk about? That's not what the media was made for.
Who supports that? I'm just curious on this stage. I actually think when it comes to the White House press corps, he should not be playing the game.
But the problem is, if you read Project 2025, if you know, it was clear as day. Let's just say not. You guys will make it up like you didn't know nothing about this. Fine. But if you still support him after this, the problem is you can't not support this. How the hell do you support an administration, period, after something like that? Period. How do you support administration, period? Because if they can do that, what else are they going to do? When is enough for you all?
The left has been doing this for a while. I really don't care.
So if you can
In what way? Give an example.
I engage you with this fool.
Hey guys, I was just going to mention the 250th anniversary. It's just artillery fire off the coast from Camp Pendleton, and the closest snow Kings Day is 79 miles away. So, not really overlapping.
That's good news. Now we can party like it's 1999, baby.
I know, they're shooting artillery out the
I'm sure you guys are for the Marine Corps and them celebrating their history.
Yeah, of course. No, they don't.
But wait a minute, again, I thought their birthday was in November, but I guess I'm wrong. Shit, wrong.
You should look it up, the official date.
Yeah, let me look that shit up.
Saturday. You should.
The Marines' birthday is officially Saturday, you said?
Yeah, these new rules are a bit intense.
Yes, it is indeed the Marine Corps' 250th anniversary. It's official.
First battle was in
2025, which marks the founding of the Continental Marines back in 1775. So it's definitely a big milestone for them.
The press pass is like that's what's crazy that people.
The King's March and all that. And the thing is, with them labeling Antifa as a terrorist organization, I think you mentioned it. If someone does some kind of act of violence according to them, they can be labeled Antifa, right?
Terrorists.
Yeah, so this is exactly how they're going to lock up people during these marches, labeling them Antifa. This is how they're going to actually put bodies to the group so that they can show their base, oh, see, Antifa does exist. And then you're going to have, like, certain individuals that say, see, Antifa did exist. Look, they're locking them up. It's exactly what, their plan is to do. So, I mean, yeah. So beyond that missile stuff, I think that's even more dangerous is that that's the shit that they're going to be pulling off.
Kind of like the January 6th.
You guys
people,
conceding that you're
everyone
wrong.
associated with them. Like,
You got to mute up. While I was talking, you got to mute up.
I know where you are.
Hold on. Okay. I was trying to ask them where they conceding they were wrong. That's all.
Okay.
See, it's an hour, 20 minutes left.
Can I just do a breaking news?
I'd just like to say.
It's not missiles. It's not going over LA. Just
Big server ignition and you're on road.
One mic on Lisa. One mic on Lisa.
I don't know if you guys have talked about this, but what's his name? Turtle? Did he pass out again?
No, he didn't. He fell out on the floor.
He fell.
He fell on the floor.
Oh, he got.
He got fucked up though.
It was pretty bad, though.
Barely got back up. We needed two people to help him back up.
It looked like he did ask a good question, though.
Yeah, asked about ice and he slipped on some ice.
I'm not laughing. Oh, that ain't funny. That old man. That's not.
Girl, he done glitched out.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That was funny as hell to me.
2 more times.
That shit was hilarious.
That was funny as hell to me. I'm sorry.
That's the elder abuse. His rich wife need to come get him a take.
You could tell he was kind of dizzy because he was, the other guy a little bit and basically grabbed him. He didn't see that he was losing his balance and he just fell.
That's because the prices are too high to get his
Not paying attention to him. The people around him do not pay attention.
He is not
They
being
let him sit there and freeze on camera for like a full 30 seconds before they step forward.
Well, it is the government shutdown, so he's not getting his health care right now.
Y'all ain't getting it. Trust him.
Cancer in the Republican Party. He needs to step down.
Yeah, he stepped down all right.
He been
He
fast.
fell down. Yes, I.
And they said Anthony 1000% was in the room calling us like low IQ.
Okay. Why you would be in the room?
And he said he likes Patty, and he met Patty in person, and that is a person based on real life.
Oh shit! Hold on, let him finish.
Yeah, let me finish. He said that he met.
You down if you don't mute up. Go ahead.
So he did say that he likes Lisa, and he said that he likes Patty, and he said, in fact, he likes Patty, and that nothing will change his mind about anything on this app because he knows like who she really is, and like he didn't say anything bad about either of them. Like,
That's fine. I'm not really worried about it, pepperoni, so I'm good,
Can I respond to the insulin statement?
One second, though. The person that just said that was not in this room. They weren't in this room. They were in that room on a burner. So they don't even know what was just said in here. They just independently confirmed that.
So somebody was saying that they can't afford it.
One thing I know, I would put my vouch on. They are not fucking lying.
Hey, Jim, ask him a question. Say if Anthony said some people are low IQ, or he said like the whole room is, like, find out what.
Okay, I understand.
CEO, make sure you get mad at him as you did.
because we already know that Anthony likes Patty, likes Lisa, so that's we already know that. So that
let's not defend that.
They're not gonna put creative. They're not gonna put creative.
Don't do that, Amari. Don't play cleanup until we hear the truth.
You can't divide them. Lisa, Patty,
Don't do that. You gotta put it after on anything. Sorry.
Lisa, come on now.
No, seriously, I don't play those kind of games because I know humans are capable of humaning and they do it all the time. So never put your faith in another human man.
One thing y'all gotta know about this app is everything that makes it around this app. Y'all know how this app works. Y'all on this app, of course somebody in there on a fucking burner.
And it's okay, you guys. I'm not taking it one way or the other because I know where I stand. I know who I am. And I don't have to defend myself. I don't have to defend you guys because all you guys are very intelligent, brilliant. And I do mean that because we can have a conversation till 5 o'clock in the morning. So obviously there's something happening. There's something going on. And it's not a bunch of fuckery. So, because I'm not about that. But anywho, I don't even want to talk about it anymore if you guys don't mind because it just, to me, is a compliment left-sided, and I'm just gonna take it and roll.
All right, let's keep the conversation rolling then.
All right, so homeboy fell out, and he had two black men. Was it two black men that had to pick him up? He needs to retire. He really does. He is just taking y'all's money, y'all Republicans' money, and not giving you any return on your fucking dollar. So he's weird, he's old, and he needs to go someplace and sit down or fall down or whatever.
Republicans agree with you on that. Like we've been saying this for a long time. Like he's a fucking dinosaur. He's a part of the old machine. Like we just can't wait for him to step down.
You know what? If it wasn't for that old fart, y'all wouldn't have the Supreme Court. So show some respect.
Okay.
Not that I'm a fan, but hey.
Yeah, I get you. So what else is happening? We covered the young dumb Republicans and their fucking missteps. So y'all ain't talking about that over in that other room. And then the fact of the matter that Trump is saying, well, no, he didn't say it, that this Middle East peace deal is about to fall apart right before our eyeballs. It's just a big grip. So I'm just waiting for them to start handing out the plans of the hotels, the golf courses. They do not care about these people in Gaza, but we have to pay for the hotel. We got to pay for the fake ass rebuilding. And Trump saying it's going to be on everything. I think I took a bet with somebody in here, but I'm standing on my bet. I won't welch.
So you hit it on the head. I said it. Patty had a room. Hamas said they're not giving up their weapons. Furthermore, 6 aid trucks were supposed to come in. They only let in 3. The border into Egypt is still closed. So it's a big celebration over nothing. They're not giving up their weapons. This is not a good look. On top of that, I don't know if you guys saw Trump was exposed. I don't know if it was today or yesterday, with plans to build an arch, kind of like the Arc de Triomphe in Paris. And there's also an arc here in New York at Washington Square Park. So he wants his own arc, guys. He wants a Trump.
Crazy.
I don't know where they want to push Trump.
A self-aggrandizing narcissist wants to do that. Who would have ever guessed Trump wanted to do that? Amazing.
And so that's why he's not getting that Nobel Peace Prize, because it is not for people who just continuously on the back of other people, poor people, disenfranchised people, marginalized people. That is not a award make. So y'all get his people over there wishing and hoping. He'll get one though. He'll make it out of AI and then he'll put it up in the White House, him getting this award. But do you guys really care that much, you MAGAs, that he gets an award?
No, it's fucking retarded. It's like him trying to feed his narcissism. And I wanted to touch, because you mentioned
I care that
the young Republicans.
The money he owes her.
Who's this?
That's what I care about. It's a nobody. Keep finished. Go ahead.
So the young Republicans, I don't know if you know, because you guys are, most of you guys are obviously, left-leaning. This is actually, this whole group chat thing is ignited like a civil war amongst the right. So you have the largest influencers. We can look at Ben Shapiro. We can look at Dinesh D'Souza. We can look at the Babylon Bee founder. I forget this asshole's name. You have all of these people. There's a bunch more. Then you have basically Matt Walsh, which is weird because he works for Ben Shapiro. You have
Walsh. Who is that?
He's the guy who he made a few.
He's the What Is a Woman man. He made the documentary about What Is a Woman.
Okay.
And so he is a large influencer on the right. The disagreement is so. There's a term that was like, there's one guy named James Lindsay. He's a right-wing influencer with a large following. He coined the term, woke right. And so that is basically there's a part of the right that is just like the woke left. He considers all of the people that you would consider far right to be woke right. And so when it came to the comments that were being said, I look at it as a lot of it, like some of it was like obviously offensive. Some of it's like I could tell they were just like, it was just them trying to, be edgelords and humorous. But it's, they feel that these people are like a cancer to the right and they need to be excised, just as like the left needed, the liberals needed to do that to people further on the left. And so you're having this battle. It's been going on for a couple of days.
I'm confused. Are you saying there's like people there's the one group on the right, and then they're looking at the other group on the right, and they're saying the edgelords are ruining it for all of us? Or
no, they're saying, so they're basically saying the far right needs to go.
And what are they? Are they like moderate right, or are they the far right?
So I would say Ben Shapiro would be right of center.
Sounds like some op shit. I ain't gonna lie.
I mean, I don't. Do you consider
No,
Ben Shapiro?
I know what he's saying. He basically saying is that like the rest of the party's trying to excise the group that is like so far right, or calling them the woke right because they feel like
You're saying people like Ben Shapiro and whatever, they want to get mainstreamed, and they're like, all these Hitler jokes are getting in the way.
No. Ben Shapiro is already mainstream, and so he wants to not allow the people of the likes like Nick Fuentes, unfortunately, is already kind of mainstream amongst the young people.
A racist.
And
racist.
Yeah, racist.
But here's the versus the whole
Okay. You're putting words in my mouth. I get it. Yes, a lot of the people on the far right are racist. Not all of them. Some of them have like a very far right interpretation of Christianity.
Exaggeration you say Civil War because I don't see this shit happening. Maybe they had a little tweak or something, but a civil war, this shit.
It's not a civil war. You're right. It's not a shit.
They should be out in the public if that was the case, fighting and duking it out. What you said was an exaggeration.
I'm not. It was obviously hyperbolic. I was not saying that it's like a literal fucking civil war. I'm talking about on social media.
Why say it?
They've been fighting in the Republican Party since his first term. What is it? The Lincoln Project is the fundamental Republicans, MAGA, and then you got the far right. They've been infighting for a long time. This is not new.
That's a little.
MAGA is not the fundamental establishment.
Yeah, but that whole Lincoln, they have the Lincoln Project has no weight anymore. So no, there's not that sort of thing. They did during his first term though, but they had weight in his first term, and they had weight when he was running for re-election.
It's not about the way. I said they've been infighting for a long time. The Republican
Yes, but it's different groups this time.
That's what I was trying to say. It's really split into like three or four different parts of the Republican Party. You got the fundamental, the Constitution people that believe in the Constitution. You got MAGA, you got the far right, and then you got like the fringe right. So
no, not today. That's not the case today.
That is.
It was 5 years ago for sure.
Since his first term.
I mean, the Republican Party, the Overton window has shifted. I was considered a pariah, a Nazi, all of this shit. I disavow Hitler and still are.
Narcissistic personality.
National socialism. Okay, yeah, because you see, the left likes to call people this stuff, and then. What does that have to do with National Socialism or Hitler? people will call me racist, and I don't care about that one label. Yeah, the Overton. Yes, if I Raya, that was a shit stir like 6 years ago, but then, which in a weird way kind of made me like gave me an audience because I was so like rubbed against the grain so much. But if I go today, if I go onto X, I am so like mediocre and I guess you say milquetoast compared to how far the right. Basic.
Before you jump in, we get him saying the Republican Party is the more racist. Like, everybody, calm your tits. Like, that's the most interesting thing. He's acknowledging it.
Hey, I like my B cup.
So I would say things that would have never been allowed to be spoken about are now being spoken about. And I would say the Overton window in a very weird way is you have like the activist left where you do see some overlap, and I'm talking more on the far left. Things are kind of, people are being given platforms again that would have never ever been allowed to have a platform in 2000, for example, or excuse me, 2020. The amount, like, I'm somebody who used to, believe it or not, like fight with the neo-Nazis and national socialists is the term they usually go by. They've gained like a shit ton of momentum, and so you do have like a large part of the right that is very conspiratorial, yet also hateful and bigoted, for sure. And this will be my little caveat. I do think that like white people, I respect all cultures and whether it's your ethnic or religious or a racial group, you know, to have a level of autonomy where, you know, you should not be, they should be able to preserve themselves basically. And so like I would see a lot of this multiculturalism shit. I see like, no, this is fucking retarded. You guys do not have to subject yourselves to that. That was my angle always this whole time. And so it's kind of like, do I see like a good byproduct of that being that like, okay, maybe we'll reject this multiculturalism shit. Yes. Do I agree with their foundational beliefs? Not at all. But they've definitely, the right has been radicalized a lot. And I would say, especially the young men and the newest, I would say that some of the most influential people that push the far right rhetoric today are actually multicultural. We can look at what's his name? Well, you have Andrew Tate, you have Myron Gaines, I forget his real name. You have all of these people. They will basically do the Hail Hitler, do the Roman salute. All of these guys push this shit.
Did you vote for Trump?
Yeah.
I want to say, okay, so can you just explain that to your
He literally has.
Hold on. I know, guys, hold on. Can you just explain that to your buddy above you, who just said your guys' party isn't the party of racism?
Well, you can say it isn't it's the party of racism, that's fine, but I want to undo a lot of what Biden did? Yeah, absolutely. And I think even if I was like somebody who didn't think about race, I think that what we had occurring on our southern border and the amount of funding that we were getting illegal immigrants was rather insulting. So yeah, I wanted to undo it.
Basically, you say you're okay with money with hate to undo some social programs?
You don't know yet. So Pappy's a minute racist. We don't have to like ask him those questions or whatever. Yeah, he
Let the woman speak. Y'all let the woman speak.
Okay, we're doing this.
Y'all be shutting her
No, our points are, those are good points. Those are good because
He's already said it.
no, you weren't. You're making valid points because to whatever they want to undo with Biden. So no, you're making some great points.
Please, Plenty, go ahead and take the mic.
I was just asking that. So you're saying that most of your party will align with hate, just to undo some social programs? Is that something?
I don't think it's most. I think that the overtly hateful or racist or identitarian, ethnically or religiously identitarian people, I mean, that if you add them all up, like the evangelical Christian voting bloc, or just the Christian voting bloc in general, there's a good bit of that. Which I would say a small minority of them are hateful, what you would consider hateful or bigoted. But I would say that there's like, I don't know, maybe there's no way I can come up with this. Like, what percentage of the Republicans are genuinely racist? I mean, maybe it's different because online versus in real life, most of the Republicans I've known, they are multiracial. Yes, whites tend to be more dominant in there, but I would say most of them are not hateful. But maybe there's 10 to 20% of them that are, harbor these feelings. And this is shooting from the hip. I don't have actual statistics. There's no way I can.
I wasn't asking for actual statistics or number. I was just asking, do you think that most of the people will align with hate just to undo?
No, I don't think so. And I would say probably the group that would go against it first. I'm somebody who's raised Catholic. I'm not religious. Like, I do know that, like, with Catholicism, for example, we're all God's children. I cannot hate any of God's children or discriminate against them. That is, I cannot truly be motivated by my religion.
That's not really answering my question, but that's okay, Pepe. I got one more thing.
What's up, G's? What's up, Pepe?
All right. Do you think that the resurgence of the Republican Party is because more younger people are coming in with some of these fringe ideologies?
Partially, but you're also kind of like what you have historically, get a lot of young people that are radically left. But I would say one of the only things I've seen in my lifetime, and that I can even think on, I don't even know if my dad's lifetime has ever experienced this, is the punk, to be the punk rock, the guy who goes against the grain, has always meant that you were kind of revolting, but from the left. You were shunning a lot of the shit on the right. Whereas you did see this mainstream acceptance of the left from both corporate America, academia, from the government, from everywhere. And where it's just like, oh, getting tattoos, piercings, coloring your hair, being not being heteronormative or whatever. It was like, that was resistance. That was going against the grain. It's just like, oh, well, I'm just going to be like this. I'm going to work out and not get tattoos. I'm going to be religious, and I'm going to, do my best to be white or show my proximity to whiteness. That is like the new punk rock.
Well, this is weird to me that you keep saying religion, but in that same tongue of yours, be saying nigger. So you're running people.
When did I say I was religious?
You said, first of all, you said you were raised,
but I said I was not I said I was not religious. I made that a very clear caveat.
Oh, I didn't hear the very clear caveat. I heard you.
I'm not a Christian nationalist. I'm not somebody who preaches Christianity. Everybody on here knows me knows I don't talk about religion that much. I'm not